I made it for nothing, no turn into something from nothing, yeah. Made it through property, I'm not minority, you know the story. Hop on the jet on my property and fly away. Fly, fly, fly away. I'm here present, yeah. Straight out the trenches, yeah. My niggas can't whip me, yeah. The riches,
How y'all doing? Welcome back to Culture Thoughts. I'm Miles.
I'm T.
And for a special guest today, we have Rai Saint Fort. For those who don't know, he runs a crew Bible study on campus. For those who might not be aware of what you do, could you kind of give some insight?
Okay, so basically, I'm gonna hear.
Yeah.
Basically, Crew is a Bible ministry. It's a campus ministry. It's an organization that, leads more people to Christ. It's a fellowship. It's a missionary organization. They host different missionary trips to different third world countries. Just helping out around the world and just bringing more people to God, basically. And they have campus ministries, college campus ministries, where we just started a campus ministry here at FGCU last spring, but they have it all over at UF, FSU, just different colleges around Florida and around the world, around the U.S. But that's basically what we do. We host Bible studies. We try to get as much people as we can just to grow the faith and to grow the message of the Lord.
How did you get started? Because when I first joined, it was like spring. You said that's when it started, right?
Yes, sir.
So how did you find the confidence to lead it and know that, hey, this is something I want to do, regardless of how you may look? Because I see you promote it on your social medias.
Yeah.
Most people might not put their religious belief on their page or whatever.
Yeah.
So how did you really get that confidence to be I want to start this, I want to lead this?
So I would say with me, growing up, I've always been in the church. I've always been in the ministry. I've always been going to Bible study since I was a kid, 10 years old, 11 years old. I kind of grew up in it. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of more of just developing my faith and developing my confidence in knowing who I am in the Lord, And I kind of just, what made me start here and made me get more comfortable with it, because I was very nervous when we first started in the spring in the first Bible study. I was stuttering. I couldn't speak. I couldn't, just being a leader and people looking up to me in that way. It was something that I wasn't exactly used to. It was in me, but it wasn't something that I was exactly used to. I had to get comfortable with it.
It was out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was something that I wasn't really, I kind of hid myself down a little bit in being who I am. So I was kind of nervous when I first started, And what basically started it here was I had a friend named Marissa. She got contacted by on Instagram by an account called FGCU Crew. Mm-hmm. And it was the Crew organization that I spoke of before. But they were trying to start a ministry here, a Bible study campus ministry here. And we kind of met with some people on campus, and we spoke with them, and one thing led to another. We started having more meetings. We started preparing to start a Bible study in the fall of freshman year last year. And then, we started off our first study right when we got back from spring, when we got back from Christmas break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, knowing how hard it takes to start something.
Yeah.
What was the stress still being a student? How was it? What would you rate the difficulty?
I'll say so smooth. It's pretty difficult, honestly. I can't really put a number on it, but having to balance this last spring when we first started, it was balancing just everything new, because it was my freshman year. Everything was so new, and I was trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted to do on campus, what I wanted to get involved in. So I was just kind of running around, especially with classes and things like that. It was hard to kind of juggle it, and I kind of did have to take a break from leading sometimes, because I didn't have the time to prepare, or I didn't have the time to just be able to lead in the correct way, the right way. So it would say time management was a big thing, because the other campuses, they have staff members and people that are paid to help out on campus. So with us being so new and so newly founded, we kind of had to do it all ourselves as student leaders. I have another leader, and her name is Elizabeth now, that she leads with us as well. She wasn't able to make it tonight, but Yeah. So we kind of balance the responsibility on each other. So it's like if school's getting too rough for me right now, I kind of lean on Elizabeth. If Elizabeth's getting too tough, it's too tough on her. She leans on me, you know. And I would say it was just very difficult. It was just time management that was very difficult because you know we're all so busy. We got all these things to do, and we have goals we try to reach. So I kind of had to try to find a way to make more time to, you know, lead the studies and to just follow the Lord in what I do.
And when it comes to Elizabeth, like when it came to, because to trust someone, like to have a partner, in my opinion, it's hard. Like it's hard to learn someone, learn how they work, and it be the same as yours. So what was it like building that relationship and establishing that, especially knowing y'all had the same like end goal? Like was it a difficult thing or was it something that was more so easy because y'all had the same end goal?
I would say it wasn't difficult at all getting along with Elizabeth. We both knew that we wanted to be involved, and we both knew that we wanted to make it work, and we wanted to, you know, grow the group and to just spread God's word and to just make a community, a vulnerable community, to be close with each other. So I would say it wasn't hard getting along with her. We both have different roles in what we do. So I would say I lead the studies, like I make the plan into what we talk about weekly, and we both talk about it. Like we all meet on a call once a week, and we talk about it and we plan things out. But I would say I execute it in the study. But Elizabeth she's in the background. She's more like bringing the supplies we need for the study, or like when we need to write things down, she brings the papers, the pens, the pencils, and like she's more the background of doing things. And it just works that way. Like it just click. We have our own niches in what we do. So
for the preparation process,
yeah.
how long did it take you to prepare? How do you pick which scriptures, what verses, what scripture? Like, how do you figure out what you want to talk about in a meeting?
Yeah. So with that, the process of that is most times it is like what I feel. Like if I'm going through something, I do research on what I'm going through. And I feel like if I'm going through it and it's on my heart to speak about it, maybe other people around me are going through it. So that's kind of how I guide myself along with planning on what we speak about or what scriptures we read. And it's also my mentor, Miss Tani, the one that's in Orlando, the headquarters, sorry. We speak and I kind of bounce ideas off of her. She helps me decide what we go and talk about. And she just gives me that, I would say, that support that I need if I'm not sure on what I want to do or what I want to go and talk about, you know, especially being a college student and just leading other people my age. Sometimes I just don't know exactly where to go or like what to say because I don't want to come off as, I want people to be able to relate to what's going on. So yeah, it's more of just like what I go through. I would say is what I feel or what God puts on my heart to speak about. I feel like I just need to follow what He tells me to do, and what I feel, I just try to put it on others and see maybe they feel the same thing.
Okay.
It's kind of preparation. It doesn't really. I would say, with amount of time it takes, we usually meet sometime before Thursdays. With schedules, it gets all weird and mixed up. But
classes and stuff.
Yeah, but I take some quiet. I also do my own quiet time with the Lord. So it's kind of more of like I'm always kind of preparing myself to speak on something at least, But with the studies, I'd say it takes. Sometimes I do it Thursday mornings. Sometimes I do it Wednesday nights, and it probably takes me a smooth 2 hours of quiet time just to lock in and to understand what's being said in here. And to be able to express myself clearly and be able to have clarity in what I'm trying to get off to other people.
Do you have any favorite scriptures that you went over with the crew?
I would say the book. We just finished going over the book of Ephesians. There's a lot of good verses in there that was enjoyable for me to read and to teach on. But a personal verse of mine, I would say, is Jeremiah 29:11, and it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And that verse just speaks to me because I used to always worry about my future and what I needed to do or where I was heading, and I kind of forgot to stop worrying and just actually be in what I'm in now. I kind of look too far ahead instead of just being thankful for what I have right now and being able to not worry and to not stress myself out about things that have not come yet. And that verse right there just gives me comfort in knowing that He has not left me. Like, even if things are not going as I plan, or even if it's not as I dreamt it to be, like, He still has a plan for me, and it's going the way that He wants it to go, not what I want to do, what I want it to go.
Okay. And speaking on, I know you mentioned freshman year when you were saying you were still trying to find yourself, and then you also just mentioned, like, it's certain things in your future that there's going to happen that you just haven't planned for yet.
Yeah.
Is this something, like, looking back 2 years ago, applying to FGCU, is this something that you saw yourself doing, or is this something like, where did this come from?
Honestly, I don't think I thought about it. I don't think it was on my mind that, oh, yeah, I'm going to get on this campus and I'm going to start a campus ministry, or I'm going to start a Bible study where all my friends can come and talk about the Lord, and I'm going to bring all these people to it. Like, I don't think it was something I thought was going to be in my plan. Mm-hmm. It was just something that, like, after I met with them on campus, it was like something that just sparked. Like, it just, like a snowball effect, it just rolled, and more came with it, more came with it, more came with it. And I just kind of stepped into that role and just preparing and just growing. So I would say it did surprise me to say that I'm a student leader for a Bible study because, like, I mean, when I was in high school and things like that, like, I was always able to give advice to people, but I didn't see myself as, like, something that I didn't see that confidence in me to be like, oh, I can step out and do this in front of these people. I can talk in front of all these people and have all these people look up to me or, like, to ask me questions. Because what if I don't know the answers and like that? Just, like, having that confidence that I have now that has been developed through just the Lord and reading His Word and figuring out what He wants for me in my life. So I would say a short answer to that question, no, I did not think that I would not be doing what I do now.
And when it comes to, like you said, sometimes you just speak on things because you feel like if it's on your heart, it might be on somebody else's. Has it ever been times after, like, somebody has just come up to you and be like, I needed that? Or, like has it ever been times where you see it's a good reason I said that come out?
Yeah, and not even in the studies, like I know you brought up earlier saying about how I post about my faith a lot, and often, like, even sometimes when I post, like, a simple Bible verse that I just read that spoke to me, I post a screenshot of it on my story or whatever, people swipe up or they're saying, like, oh, I really needed to hear that today, like, thank you for posting this, and, like, it just opens more doors for me to reach people. So I would say there's been a couple times where I've felt encouraged by what I do, just because I know that it's reaching someone. Like, I know there's some results coming out of it, even if sometimes, like, I may not think so. Like, people are watching those stories. People are still looking at those verses, and it's like I'm still putting it out there. So, yeah, there's been a couple times, especially in, like, the studies. Like, I always ask at the end of the studies, like, did it help you? Like, is anything that you, like, was anything interesting or anything, like, that stuck out to you, like a light bulb went off or anything like that? Like, there's a couple of times people have said, like, that has, like, something that they enjoyed it, they learned something from it, and it's just, like, a good feeling to feel, you know.
With this, starting this whole new cool Bible study, do you have any plans in the future, like maybe going to different campuses other than the one we're at right now, just talking on, like, maybe different days of the week, or, going to the headquarters, talking with them, like, in person, and just, like, what are your, like, future plans, or do you just plan, like, by ear and to see how it go?
I would say if the Lord leads me to going on a different level that I am now, that's where I would go. Like, I don't think I don't see it as a goal of mine to go up and go to different campuses and things like that, because I feel like if I do those things without, like, the Lord telling me to do those things, it wouldn't be the right thing for me to do. I wouldn't succeed in doing those things. So I would say I just wait and see what happens, It would be awesome to be able to reach as many people as like going to different college campuses and, you know, going to the headquarters and, you know, being that person that they want me to speak to others. But I have put myself out there more. I have been going to more like conferences and different Bible studies and just being around different Christian people and being around different Christian situations and places and events. So if it is what is in the plan of my life, that is what happens, you know.
So when it comes to kind of to piggyback off what Miles was saying,
Mm-hmm.
Aside from it being something that can potentially open new doors, has this been something that kind of like led you to realize that it may be other things to partake in? So like maybe it showed you a new talent that you didn't know you had, which was leadership, and inspired you to do leadership elsewhere. Like, is this something that this inspired in you, or is it just like you stand with this right now till you see like?
Honestly, going back off like finding out who I was and my confidence, like this helped me realize that I can stand firm in who I am. Like this is not a small aspect of my life. This is a big aspect of my life, but it is one part of my life that has taught me that I can be who I am in other things as well. Like if it leads me to be the person that can lead and speak up for other people, or, you know, be the one that people can come to for advice outside of religion or outside of spirituality, like I think it's helped me develop that confidence to say, oh yeah, I want to help these people, like if they need it, like, or I care for people way more than I did before, you know, like I'm less selfish now. Like I would say I want to help more people in all aspects of their lives. Like I don't want to just put their faith in a box and say that's all you need my help from. Like that's all you need my help for. I would say it's inspired me to try different avenues and to try to reach out to people in other ways, different events, you know, and just show my faith in things that are not the same, not spirituality, like not my faith, like, you know, going on a basketball court or, you know, just being in a regular college campus without like knowing that I do Bible studies. Like I want to be able to people to see that in me, or be able to see that I'm a good person they can talk to, you know. And I would say this has inspired me.
Were your parents like really religious growing up?
My mom, she wasn't as religious as she is now, or like how faith-filled as she is now when I was younger. But like, yeah, I would say growing up I did go to church. I wasn't as
like every Sunday, or was it like them type of churches where it's like you go Saturdays, Thursdays, like a weekday?
It was every Sunday. Well, not every Sunday. We didn't go as often as we do now, or as I do now. But I always went to Bible studies. Like the Bible study I grew up in, it was more of like a friendship kind of thing. So I was with my friends all the time. So it was like that was the way that we hung out. But we were surrounded by the Word and surrounded by God all the time, the way we hung out. So I would say I grew up in it for sure. It wasn't something like my parents, they definitely had faith. Like they definitely introduced me to it. It definitely kept me in it. Like they put me into a Christian private school for high school in 8th grade. So I would say it's always been an aspect of my life. My parents have always pushed it on me. It wasn't as like personal as it is to me now back then, or to them. I would feel like my parents have grown a lot in their spirituality as well. So yeah, I think it's always been an aspect that my parents has always been like spiritual in a way. Like they've always thought of it and they always introduced it to me and brought it in my life.
How did you, you know, graduating from high school, coming to college, now you're away from home. How did you, you know, want to keep pushing to walk in your spirituality, if that makes sense? What made you keep pushing to, you know, I want to keep reading the scripture by myself? Because your parents not telling you to read it. They're not making you go to church. They're not making you do this Bible.
What gave him that passion?
Yeah, what gave you the passion to keep on doing it, even though you don't got nobody telling you?
Nobody on my back.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would say honestly, last year I struggled with that. Like, it got to a point where I knew about how I felt about God, and I knew about my faith, and I knew with leading the Bible studies in the spring, like I knew that was back there, but I was kind of living both ways. You know what I mean? Like I didn't take it as serious as I do now, or like I'd grown to take it seriously. It was a struggle, like having my parents not on my back. Like I can say I wilded out. Like I did a couple, I did, like, I mean, it's my first year of college. Like I was just experiencing everything, taking it all in, and just becoming. And I think it helped me figure out who I am more, though. It helped me figure out what I would do and what I won't do, or what I want to do, what I like, than what I don't like, or what I don't vibe with, And I feel like it was a kind of a trial and error for me, and more of like a thing that I would say helped me grow. Like, I definitely had a battle with that passion and being, because it all goes back to being who I am, like being all aspects of my life being who God has told me to be. So I would fight it because I'm at a college campus, I'm a freshman, everybody probably doing the same things. We all going out partying, we all doing this or that. And I was just like, hey, I'm just in college, like, let's do it, It took a lot of, like, quiet time and soul searching and, like, just working on me and just, like, reading and just, like, self-health things, like, that allowed me to see maybe this isn't how I should do it. Or, like, maybe I should go this way instead of this way. Or, like, it helped me decide on what decisions I would do, what decisions I would make, or what decisions I wouldn't make, And it just allowed me to grow and mature more into myself, I would say.
Starting this group, was it a leap of faith, or did you sit down and God talked to you and said he wants you to start this?
It was a leap of faith.
A leap of faith?
I would say he put it on my heart to even get into it. Like, he put it on my heart to give me the courage to do it, but I wouldn't say that I heard. Maybe I did, but I wouldn't say I sat down and prayed on it, or like I spoke to him and decided that, oh yeah, this is what he's wanting me to do. It's kind of something that just I think he put in my life as an opportunity for me to decide which way I wanted to go, and gladly I chose the way that I'm on now. But it was more of like he put it there for me, because we all have free will. He put it there for me to choose if this is what I would do, if I would stay with it, if I would be passionate with it, if I would stay strong in it and be firm in what he's put in my lap. And I chose to stand firm in it.
So when it comes to, because I know you were saying like self-care and stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to that topic specifically, how would you say, especially like going through the journey of finding yourself freshman year, like what was that like? Because I'm sure everybody's been on that journey, and it's not easy. Like, finding yourself is not like an easy journey.
No, it's not.
It's kind of it's hard. So what was self-care like for you, making sure like that you were sane?
I would just do what I like what I genuinely felt good in doing. Like, I would watch different YouTube videos, or like maybe watch a show that I liked, or make sure that I felt okay. Make sure that I was doing something that I wasn't forced to do, or like forced to be in. Excuse me. I would say what it looked like for me was reading. Like, I enjoy reading and gaining wisdom. That's always been who I am. Like, I've always been listening to older people. Like, I've always had my ears open to other people's point of views, or other people's advice, or like just respecting elders, or respecting what they have to say to me, even if sometimes I don't really understand, or like I'm just like, I don't really know why he's talking to me right now, but it's like I still show respect in that regard to gain wisdom. So I would say reading a lot of like books and just gaining a lot of wisdom from different kind of books, like self-care books or self-health books, and just like even in this book, the Holy Bible, just reading helped me a lot in my self-care journey, and just figuring out who I am, because it allowed me to be myself. It allowed me to be in myself, and just to wonder what these words on this page mean, or like to ponder my own thoughts and be by myself. I would say also just taking time for myself, like not being around everyone all the time, or like not being in a community all the time. Like I spent a lot of time like alone, like to I would say to understand how I felt or understand my thinking processes on different things, and also like just cutting off different people that brought a side of me out that I didn't want out, or like I don't know, just like what I would say. The main thing that helped me was also reading the word, but also just doing things that I know in my heart I enjoyed doing, and like things that made me happy, not what made other people happy. Like I used to struggle with like trying to fit in a box of what people would want for me to do, or like what I think people what would seem cool for people to see me doing, and that's probably when it was the worst. My self-care was the worst. My self-help was the worst because I wasn't being truly who I am, and I wasn't standing in that. So I would say when I stepped away and I kind of like was like, maybe I do like doing this. Like me, I'm a big romance guy. Like maybe I do like watching romance movies by myself. Like maybe I do like reading romance books, or maybe I do like, and figuring out those different things that I like to do that I enjoy, not because of what someone else wanted me to enjoy. So I would say find those things that that you enjoy to do, no matter what. Like no matter what, you could do it by yourself, you could do it with someone or without someone, but just make sure you can find something that you can stand in and be firm in knowing that, yeah, I enjoy this, like, and just be you.
And speaking of that box, like you were saying, like a lot of times, like people put themselves in this box, and it's always like trying to please certain things when you're in that box. When it comes to this generation, like this day and age, specifically around our age group, do you feel like the new generation tries to fit in a box, especially when it comes to, like you were saying, like sometimes it can even be when someone, you like, why are they talking to me? But it's like, it may be something that's beneficial. Like it may be something that could really help us, but it's just like,
we're so closed off.
Right, and we're so stubborn.
Yeah.
And we feel like we know everything.
Yeah.
So do you feel that this generation especially showcases that, like, want to be in that box, want to do what's cool, want to like.
I wanted to be in that box, and so it's like personal for me. Like, I just wanted to fit in so bad, because I didn't want to be like the oddball. I didn't want to be the one that people like looked down upon, not looked down upon, but looked at me a different way, because I had friends that were one way, and I wanted to fit in with those guys because I thought it was cool. And I would say a lot of people, young people struggle with that. That's why I would say take time to find out who you really are, because you can get into some stuff that you shouldn't be getting into because of you not being who you are, and like you not realizing your own dreams and what you want to do and where you want to see yourself at. Like sometimes, like I always had the idea of where I wanted to be, and what luxuries I wanted to have in my life, what different things I wanted to make available to me, to my family down the road, or different things like that. Like, but when I got around certain people, I would throw it away. Like I would just like I would like put it in the back of my mind, like,
trying to fit that narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it just wasn't me. So like, and it took a lot of like people like pointing. Like I used to get in trouble a lot, because that's why I had to switch schools, because I would get in trouble a lot because I was around fitting in with these people, these older, like I was a 6th grader hanging out with like 8th graders and stuff like that. Like I was trying to fit in with these cool guys on campus, or these cool guys on the school grounds. And I would always get in trouble because the teachers and the administrators and everything they would see me differently from them. So it's like they would know that that's not they would see that it's not me. So why are you hanging out with these people? So I would get called out a lot. That's why I got in trouble so much, just because of I wasn't supposed to be in that lane. So what I would say with the generation now, like I'm a part of it, it's just like it's okay to like what you like. Like even if no one else does, like what you like because you like it, not because anybody else likes it, Yeah. And I feel like that's just the simplest thing I can say about it. I know it's hard, just like I got little cousins going through middle school right now. Like that's like the prime time where you find out like what is really going on in your life.
Yeah.
And like figuring out like what kind of person you're gonna be. So I would say just stay true to what you like. Stay true to what you imagine in your head. Stay true to that. Don't try to change that because of who you're around or your environment. Don't let the environment change you. You know, be able to be in different environments, but also be you in every single environment you're in, any different environment you're in. So that's what I would say, because I feel like that's what I would have told myself when I was growing up. You know.
And to tie it back to the fitting the narrative thing,
Mm-hmm.
I want to tie it to March Madness, what's currently going on all over the media that we've been seeing everywhere with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Angel Reese beforehand has been put into this narrative situation where
I heard about that.
they want her to just play basketball, but she feels like that's not her narrative. Like, she wants to talk trash, she wants to do everything like that. Now, when it comes down to Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, and she's in the narrative that she portrays as a young, successful Caucasian female, and then you have Angel Reese, a young, successful African-American female.
Mm.
And the narrative of a female basketball player is to play basketball and play basketball.
Yeah.
But when it came down to Caitlin Clark, she did the gesture, the ring,
Yeah.
she waved the girl off, waved
yeah.
the girl off at the 3-point line. But when
Yeah.
Angel Reese reciprocated, they made it as if like she was all of these names, and it's because of the narrative that she portrayed. So, what's your 2 cents on that like situation as a whole? And we're gonna end it off with that. What's your 2 cents on that?
What I would say is, like, being a basketball player myself, like, bro, we gonna talk.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that doesn't take away any respect I got for the player that's against me. You know, and especially on a big stage like March Madness final game, like championship, there's a ring on the line, hats and celebrations, and like, I feel like people outside of the situation always blow it up to something that it's not.
Yeah.
Like, how I see it, I kind of like close off my ears to the outside noise of just, cause like on that court, like with Caitlin and what's her name?
Angel Reese.
Angel.
Angel, yeah.
Angel. Okay. Like that's dumb. That's two competitors. Probably questionable best players on their team. That's two of them go to hand to head.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get competitive.
Yeah.
And Caitlin she's the superstar she is. She's already been killing. Mm-hmm. And Angel's already been killing. So it's like they already have something to prove to each other that they're going against each other. So I would say, like, it's just basketball. Like, don't make it outside of basketball. That's because on this big TV screen and whatever you're watching it, it's like you're not there. You're not on that. You're not on that. You're not on that court. So it's like, I feel like anyone that understands the competitive mindset of playing that sport and being on a stage like that, or any sport, is being on a championship stage, like a ring is on the line. Like, you're gonna be competitive, especially if you're confident in yourself and in your game. Like, if you're killing someone, you're gonna say you're killing. Like, sometimes some players are different. They're not gonna some players just don't talk trash.
Yeah.
Some players just don't.
They keep it strictly about the game.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
Some people do, and some people don't. Some people make it fun for themselves. They like to have the energy on the court. They like to be able to talk because that's what the game is. They talk. You earn rights to what you can say because if you're good or not.
Yeah.
So I would say my 2 cents on it is I don't see no different in what Caitlin did and what Angel did. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're just two competitors, and Angel won.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It wasn't nothing else. It wasn't no black and white thing. It was just two. They happened to be black and white. Yeah. But it was just two competitors going at it, and one lost and one won, and one of them wanted to celebrate.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, just to close it off right there, I feel like you were saying, people are making it more than what it is. At the end of the day, like any athlete, period.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's basketball, football, softball, swimming, baseball, like whatever it is.
It's that competitive heart right
Lacrosse. You know the feeling of going to, like, when it's like everything on the line. And it's like, when you finally cross that line, you going to celebrate.
Especially if it's championship, too.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the natty. Like, you work for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like, let them play.
Yeah,
let them express themselves and how they gonna express themselves.
Yeah.
It's no different way, and people express themselves differently.
Yeah.
Let her put a ring finger on.
Yeah. Like, and then they also mentioned, like, this has been done in several other sports with several other athletes. I feel like it was just something that was blown out of proportion. Like, something that really
it's the outside looking in.
Yeah.
social media, I don't even want to get into it. Social media is annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But like, it's not. They just want to talk on something they don't. They haven't. Some people just talk on things they don't have no experience in being in.
Yes.
That's real. That's real.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're gonna talk about how she celebrated a ring, but you never got no. You never was on that stage. So it's like you don't know the feeling of like that big of a game.
Yeah.
And that much energy that's invested in that game.
Some people ain't never even ran a suicide up that court.
That's what I'm saying. They be typing on the Instagram like you played the sport before. You played a sport like that before. You've been in that situation and you have not. So it's not something you can like talk on.
Yeah.
Like, and especially if you have been, it's still not something you can talk on because that's not you.
Yeah, you wasn't in that moment at that time.
That's not you. It's not your. That's not what you. You weren't there. You weren't in that moment exactly in that time. That's not you. So it's like, I just feel like the outside looking in, the people that boosted it up, because I don't even know, like, I think I saw an interview with Caitlyn saying that she don't see nothing wrong with what Angel did.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course she's not going to see nothing wrong because she knows how it was. She knows that she celebrated that same way.
Yeah.
So it's like, everyone else but the players going at each other.
Yeah, because even Angel was like she was just doing it just like it's the adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, she just want to.
Yeah, so it's like, and if the person who it was done to not taking no offense to it,
why are we taking offense?
Yeah,
exactly.
Because we covered that in an old podcast a while ago, just saying how sensitive social media can be.
Man,
the generation as a whole, because sometimes it'll just be like with Kyrie in the whole situation, like. He was just speaking his opinion, and I feel like sometimes people forget that celebrities are influencers. They're still
just
people,
like us.
And they still have an opinion.
They're people.
And
they just have a bigger platform.
Right. They still have actions. They can't hold people accountable for their actions, but something as small as that shouldn't have been so publicized.
And it's like we all like exactly. Celebrities are people. Like, just because they have this platform don't mean that you can go into their life and tell them how to do things in their own life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, millions of followers and they get like thousands of comments saying, it just be like little things as well, like just on shade rooms or like different things like that. Like, you're talking about someone's like family or like talking about someone's life, like personal stuff that you don't know them.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you even speaking? What gives you the right to, jump in on somebody's personal actions, somebody's personal life like that,
And I know we said we're going to end it off right there, but I need your 2 cents on this. The Shade Room, okay? So for a while now, I've heard people say that the Shade Room doesn't even feel like it's a good thing. It's almost as if
it's negative.
They're bullying.
Yeah.
Because they'll do something, and it's kind of like a backhand. It's a microaggression. It's kind of like a backhanded compliment. Like, they're posting something, but they know the reaction that the public's going to have.
So they post it anyway just to get that reaction. Yeah.
Yes. So do you feel like it's the Shade Room is a negative?
I feel like those platforms could be used in good ways. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes they're not, though.
Yeah.
And most times they may not be used in the good way that they could be used. It's I feel like they do it for the attention of like being able to down someone while they're up. Like, maybe because you're not up where they're at and you want to bring that person that's above you down.
Yeah.
Or you feel like that person's above you down. So it's like sometimes I feel like that's kind of how it goes with different accounts and different Shade Room accounts and this like drama accounts. It's like, I understand a news reporter and like, telling news and like being as neutral as possible, but sometimes that's not how it is.
Yeah.
And they drag people and they drag all these celebrities and they drag these people that are people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's like it's used for good and it's used for the bad as well. And usually it's more used for the negative because of the way people react. And they know that reaction is going to come, but they still, sanction it.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I mean, you can't really stop negativity from coming from someone because that's just what it is. And social media, if you make your life public, you're subjecting your life to be looked at. So it's like, it's also that point of the coin. It's like, I mean, got to be able to be strong. I would say you shouldn't have to be strong against someone else's opinion because it doesn't matter. They shouldn't even be trying to jump into your life. But like, you just have, that's kind of what comes with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like something that comes with it. I would say.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna end it off right here. If y'all enjoyed these words of wisdom, y'all make sure that y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. And if y'all want a part 2, please let us know.
Love to hear.
Be able to meet Elizabeth. What's the name, right? We may be able to meet Elizabeth for that part 2. So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all make sure y'all check out his page at
Rai Saint Fort, RaiSaintFort.
And then, did you want to throw the
Like when you
crew?
be doing it, yeah.
The crew Bible study account is FGCU _crew CRU.
Okay, so y'all make sure y'all check them out. They're also going to be in the description below. And without further ado, I'm T.
I'm on.
And I'm Ray.
And this is Culture
Jet on
Thoughts.
my property and fly away. Fly, fly, fly away. Call me a president, yeah. Straight out the trenches, yeah. My niggas can't whip me, yeah. The richest, the richest, the richest, yeah. Rich nigga got his own seats, yeah. All of these hoes came with it, yeah.